people think of Brazil, they think of it in a sexist way.
Every country should be feminist. Everybody should be feminist. This is so obvious to me that yes, I agree.
This has been a struggle since since like 50 years ago or 60 years ago, maybe since ever, right?
And I feel like we have to have the right as being paid for the same amount of work that we do, be paid equally, because we do exactly the same job as men and we get paid less. And I feel like I have to have the right to go out somewhere and do not be sexually assaulted.
When I said that I was from Brazil, like they would think that it's okay, like to say, Brazilian women are the hottest or something like that. And that's like totally not okay.
We have to discuss the right of ourselves over our bodies and over everything, because we're unequal.
Developing society is that way to make it equal for both.
In terms of catcalling, I think that here they say like grosser things.
I think in Brazil men are more explicit with women. I think here men, they come closer and talk, sometimes more aggressive things, but they come closer. It's not like screaming on streets.
No, here I've found like men to be more respectful towards women than in Brazil. Here no means no for a guy. In the streets too, I feel like I've been less bothered when I'm walking around.
I think that in general, people from the US are more polite, not kind, but more polite than Brazilians. But I feel that the women suffer here the same kind of prejudice they suffer in Brazil, it's just more subtle. It's just in detail. It's not just out as it is in Brazil.
I think in Brazil it's widest. We include a lot of things in feminism, like homophobia. We are in 60 Brazilians here, and a lot of girls are working with feminism. And I don't see a lot of American girls doing the same.
It definitely should be legal in Brazil, especially because there's a lot more poverty there, and that means there are a lot less information about like prevention and stuff. Like every 10 minutes a woman is raped in Brazil. It definitely should be legal in Brazil.
Yes, of course, because as I said before, I feel like women have to have the right over our bodies. So it should be our decision whether to have the baby or not. Women die in Brazil because women are not going to stop aborting. So I feel like we have to have better conditions to do so. Women having power and right over their bodies. So yes, I think it should be legalized.
About abortion, I think that the woman should at least have the right to choose. I really don't know, actually. I don't know, because I'm such a kid-loving person. But I know that sometimes, like, if you get raped or stuff, that's something that you just don't want to. So I think it should be legalized for at least some special cases.
I totally support the legalization of abortion in Brazil. I think it's like super important. I think a lot of women die, and this is so absurd. A woman should have the right to decide what she wants to do with her body, and like in all everybody should have the right. And I don't know why women should die because it doesn't want to have a baby that isn't even a baby.
So I haven't like witnessed it, but my friends that came here with me from Brazil, they told me something that got me really surprised because we pass basically through the same path for school every day, and they said that in the construction part, there's a construction in a way. The workers like talk to her and make jokes, and I wasn't really expecting that. Well, besides being the U.S., I think the area that we live in is like really like high, medium to high income area, and I really wasn't expecting that kind of behavior here.
I'm gonna tell a story that happened here. I was at a gym with my friend and I was exercising, and a man came and he was really older than me, and he started talking to me, and I just thought he wants to talk. And then he started saying that Brazilian women are really beautiful and blah blah blah. And then he asked me to take a coffee with me with him, and I said I didn't want to. And he started to say that, oh, he lives close, so we could have some time, you and me. And then he said that I shouldn't go to the gym the days he was going to, so I wouldn't meet him. And then my friend came, and I decided to go home because it was really awkward. And I get to know that like a couple weeks before, no, a couple weeks after, I think, I don't know. He did the same thing with another friend of us.
So there was this time I was going to a party with my ex-boyfriend, and I don't really like to wear short clothes. I don't feel comfortable with them. But then this time I decided to go with a little shorter dress because he was bothering me. He was like, you're such a nun, you should wear shorter clothes. So it's like, okay, I'm wearing a shorter dress. So we went to this party, and then we came back, and the next day his dad came to me and said, I think we should talk. And we all sit in the living room. It was so ridiculous. He came to me and said, I think you overdid it. I think your dress was too short. You should not have done that because that's gonna look really bad on my son. People are gonna look at you and think weird things about my son, and obviously guys are gonna want to bother you, and he will not be able to defend you, so it's not gonna be a good situation for my son. So I'm requesting you not to wear short dresses anymore. So it was just like something so stupid because my dad has never ever said anything like that to me, and like I know who I am, and I really don't need him to be coming at me saying that it's gonna look bad on his son. So it was really, really uncomfortable, and I will never forget it.
I was going to class at Arnold Hall, and I was going through 13th Street, and I saw this homeless guy grabbing a girl, and he was trying to attack her, and there were a lot of people on the streets, and no one did anything. That's actually one of the things that gets me really nervous, because everything happens in the street and everybody just don't say anything. That was one of the examples. And then I went across the street and told him to let go of her, and then he let go of her, like she fell on the ground, and he just like punched me. And yes, it was like it was the most awful, most recent thing that happened. And yeah, and still like everyone like passes by and just whatever.
Errei a palavra.
Ah, tá.
Em inglês eu só vi eu faço.
De novo.